Really? This person calls himself Alzheimer?
Wasn't there like a really rich kid who ran over like a lot of people, and then
And he got away with it. He got a slap on the wrist. He got to go to a luxurious therapy place. Then his mother tried to run him to Mexico.
Didn't they use an excuse like he's so rich that he wasn't actually handling normal life or something like that? They couldn't handle normal people.
Yeah.
Yes, the term they coined in the news was affluenza.
affluenza. Yes, they're so rich they can't understand
He
responsibility.
couldn't understand normal people.
And he couldn't understand the consequences of his actions because he'd never been shown that he shouldn't do this.
There's this thing called ignorance of the law that doesn't excuse you for breaking it.
No, but that's a rule of law that applies only to regular folks who are not rich.
Yeah, like, it also doesn't apply to politicians like Hillary Clinton.
No, politicians, I found out from my father.
Stop doing that, then, Ross.
What's that?
Even a Texan has to have enough to realize that Trump is not a better choice.
Actually, you know, why don't we just skip the picking of the lesser evil and skip straight to let's just elect Cthulhu and get it over with?
Yes, Cthulhu 2016.
I'm still waiting.
I'm personally voting for the giant meteor. It's the best way, quickest way.
No, see, Cthulhu's the fun way, though. I mean, come on, Cthulhu Slanesh 2016.
No, the giant meteor erases all taxes, erases all student debt, and erases pretty much everything else that you ever want in the first 5 seconds.
By the way, actually somebody was going to write in Mephistopheles.
Well, Emerald, that would also mean that your guns would be gone.
Yeah.
No, it means that the guns had good service life and went out with honor.
Isn't there more guns than people in the US?
Yes, because there are people who own like 20 to 30 freaking guns.
Why?
Because they feel secure that way. It's just, like the gun is
I'm
replaced
sorry,
as security
hon.
blanket.
In the state where I'm from, we have the fortress law. If you are on my property and you are not welcome, I don't even have to say anything. I can just shoot you.
That's retarded
Yeah,
beyond belief.
it's actually,
Yeah, it is.
it is at times, but it's...
It is
defense.
common for police officers to drag bodies onto someone's property and say they were trespassing as a way of avoiding murder charges.
Wonderful. You know what? I fully support you going to Canada.
I have been talking to David this morning.
Which,
Yeah, I don't
not
really have a-
not David as in Hetty, but a different David, right?
Yeah. He's actually my first person to ever support me on Patreon, and he's one of my longest running friends.
Oh, speaking of Patreon, I got you.
I
it's,
noticed.
$3.
I wasn't asking for people to start Patreon stuff. That's not what I was asking. I was giving you guys transparency.
But
I
I just
felt that
figured...
transparency was needed, and someone brought up that I should probably give transparency.
By the way, actually, no, you shouldn't do that, because now YouTube can just say you violated the contract with them and they're not going to pay you anymore.
How did I violate the contract?
You cannot openly show what you gained from YouTube.
That's nowhere in the EULA I signed.
Actually, it was. You can't actually show that openly. People have already had their contracts with YouTube just completely cancelled as well.
Okay, so I go to a non-monetized channel. Bite me. It's not like YouTube's monetization was making me anything anyway.
God damn it, these M8s. The one way to protect yourself in a T90 is actually legitimately to just bomb rush the AI.
They can't pin your frontal
Yeah,
unless they get that lower plate, and they love aiming for that lower plate.
yeah. Some of them aim for the driver's port, however, so it doesn't work. It's usually with the Abrams series.
Well, yeah, Abrams has that nice big triangular hatch there.
Abrams has the most retarded weak spot ever.
But yeah, no, I don't blame Renner for wanting to leave. And
No, I don't either.
This place is nuts, and it's getting nutsier every day. And I'm like, but
It's
I'm
gonna,
poor,
it's,
so I can't.
it's gonna nuts here because like the government doesn't want people who actually want to help the people. They just want more of the same shit. I mean, literally, they are risking.
They prefer
Trump.
their corporate donors and
They are-
everything else.
They are risking Trump, who is a narcissistic melomaniac racist, for fucking Hillary
Well,
because
the thing is,
to
if
keep
Hillary wins,
to keep the corporates happy.
Here's my problem with both of them. They're both establishmental, because he's part of the 1% anyway, so is she. Secondly, she loves her corporate donors,
She does.
and she'll throw folks
She's
under the
a
bus.
flip-flop candidate.
Yeah.
Not only that, but the DNC chair who resigned in disgrace yesterday was given
Control of her
basically-
campaign.
basically control of her campaign, and I'm like,
And I tried to explain to a person that was worried about her wife and her family's safety, was so pro-Hillary. It's like, but Hillary, up until 2013, didn't think that same-sex marriage should be allowed, period. She will throw anyone under the bus as long as it benefits her. That's really what it is with her.
But that's what every politician does. You've just explained
Our
every
best-
single politician on this world.
Well, our best chance of getting anything for reals was Bernie.
Yep.
Well, and now without him, I'm still going to try for Jill Stein, because this is the year that people are so pissed off at the establishment that they are very likely to vote more predominantly into third parties to get rid of these assholes.
This is sad.
People are, yeah, we're just tired of it here.
I don't even live in the US, and I actually genuinely feel angry about what's happened.
Well, apparently, from what I understand of it, to get party unity in 08 with the party unity my ass people that supported Hillary, when Obama won, I think somebody promised that she'd be nominee this time around. And Bernie almost fucked that little deal up. Because they presented it as if it really was a primary. No,
Well,
there's
then-
so many pre-planned and pre-chosen.
I remember-
She had over 400 of the superdelegates in her back pocket already. And it was a lot of shenanigans. The media wasn't even covering Bernie. It was all Hillary, and then Trump, and that's it.
And yet, the DNC still had to cheat in every way and form to beat Bernie. And what did he do? He still won the popular vote, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
he not only won the popular vote, but despite their cheating, he actually should have won more of the regular delegates by a lot, and it's sad.
Yeah.
And I hate to discuss politics on a gaming channel.
Yeah, it's sad. It'll sour my games.
But if you notice, Bernie got 50 super delegates. Hillary got 570.
Yeah. When what they were supposed to do is get the super delegates the same way they were getting the regular delegates. But
More importantly, without super delegates, the Democratic Party has no candidates because they require 2,380, and without super delegates, neither candidate wins, even despite the cheating. And that's the first time in history that it's come down to super delegates deciding a candidate,
yeah.
which tells you something was wrong.
Yeah, well, they had already decided before the primary started that
Yeah.
they were going to coronate Hillary.
Well, then they lose the election.
Well, yeah, because let's face it, this was anything but democracy in action here. They faked it.
Trump is
They
going to
just-
have a field day with Hillary because all he has to do is just to list out everything that's wrong with her. And there is too many
It's
things
not
wrong with
just
Hillary.
that. Of the 29 people that we got together in the grad school to go vote, 27 of us voted for Bernie, 2 of us voted for Hillary, and of that, only 6 of us have said that we would vote for that we were going to still go vote for Hillary and not a third party come election. So That's a
Mm-hmm.
4 out of 29. That's what, like, less than 20%.
Well, I am driving a spicy meatball.
Representative of the country. If my graduate cohort is representative of the country, Hillary loses just flat out
Oh, yeah.
because that means only 5%, less than 5% of the popular vote that went to Bernie will vote for Hillary. You just lost.
And you know whose fault it is.
Point taken, Geek Club.
They love laying the blame game on everybody else but themselves.
If I was kind of
I'm
thought
happy you're
Bernie
new.
would not get through anyway, because the USA doesn't like socialism at all.
He's
Well,
not even a socialist.
Our electoral college system at this point is actually counterintuitive to a democratic process.
Yep.
And everyone refuses to change it, even though the Constitution basically says in writing, these are more like guidelines, you're allowed to change them.
Yeah.
I'm happy you're new because I went to go see a movie today with my family.
What did
Is
you
that
go
correct?
watch?
No, I went to go see Secret Life of Pets because, you know, family.
Also, this warrior.
Also, Sophie and I went to see Ghostbusters, and it
Yeah,
turns
what's
out
with this? What's with the Warriors?
And it turns out, despite, you know, a bunch of people bashing it for the sake of bashing it, it's actually not bad. It's not nearly as terrible as people like Angry Joe have tried to make it out to be.
That's because they had far too high expectations for it, and they wanted it to be bad, so they were already completely biased. Me and Renner went in there, and we originally wanted to see The Secret Life of Pets, but we made a coin toss.
And
Didn't
it
we?
wasn't bad. I mean, assuming
We had
you've
a few
never
laughs.
If you don't hold it up to the other two movies, it's not bad. And if you don't expect it to somehow be as good as that's like we basically went in and saw a female cast version of Stripes.
Yeah, but I think the problem with it is that they for some reason had to make it a Ghostbusters remake. That's what a lot of people
They're
were
basically
putting off a
wanting
lot
it to
of
be something like The New Hope, right?
Yeah, they were shooting for something like the new Star Wars movie, Force Awakens.
Mm-hmm.
Or
All
like,
right, I took
or
care
like
of
the
one
new
of the
Star Trek
secondaries.
movies that have done
Good
this
job, Les.
reboot, which are actually really good.
Why do I keep getting Steam friendly rights out of a sudden?
Because you made that mod.
I mean, one of them was Ben, I think. But then there's somebody now, Misjack, right? And if they are just because of the mod, I'm not going to accept them anyway. Basically told the people I'm not going to change anything in the mod.
Oh, I didn't see the Ghostbuster movie yet. I don't get to see any movies until they either
It
come
was
out on
fun.
Netflix or they get onto a disc.
Mass unsubscribe. We liked the Ghostbuster movie.
Like, yeah, it was basically.
Oh, come on. Unsubscribing just because you guys liked it and they didn't.
Yeah,
That's
we
pretty sad.
enjoyed it. The thing is that Renna decided to went ninja on me after we left the toilets because she apparently told me that she was going back to watch the end of it, and I didn't hear her. So I spent about 5 minutes looking outside the cinema to see where she was, and then.
And then I come walking
Yeah.
down, she's like, "Where were you?" I said, "I went to go watch the rest of the credits, like I do with every movie I see."
And she just mumbled it to me.
Is it weird that I go back and watch the credits? And is
Well,
it weird that
I didn't.
Actually, also,
we did it. We did it ourselves.
I approve of how they did the credits because the entirety of the credits actually still had like flash.
Also,
bits
our
of the movie
warrior is
playing.
firing
like
at
in
me
the
now.
90s where you had like flash bits of the movie playing through the whole credits.
And outtakes.
That was how they played the credits, and I'm like, why don't
Nice.
people do this anymore? This is how you do credits.
Oh, there are a lot of movies that have done it before. Can't think of any off the top of my head, but
Oh,
like,
fuck
Secret
me,
Life
there's
of
an
Pets has a
Amado.
bit of that in their thing.
Yeah. Oh, you got to
Back up.
guys have got to get somebody up to that red disc on the hill fast.
That thing on the hill.
Yeah, you got to capture that radio station on the hill.
Gosh, now I'm just thinking about all the Disney movies out there, like Up, whatnot.
Squirrel! Hello, Artie. Really? It missed? Wow.
Okay, so the Challenger 1's frontal weak spot is harder to hit than the 2's.
Yep.
Okay.
Not only is it harder to hit, it's harder to actually penetrate.
Yeah. Oh, Bennett, are you going to get the thing? All right.
Yeah, I've got it.
The what?
The secondaries. Speaking of which, this will probably be the last game
The what?
Oh, okay.
because I need to go eat. The secondaries, we're playing PvE. No, the main objective thingamajig.
The hideouts are dead.
Not in your game. What are you talking about?
Well, he went off to grab the main objective, the one you have to capture. Also, our warrior shot me.
There's one more there's one more, and that's the airfield.
The carrier is reading you loud and clear. They are making their
This one
approach
gets
now.
weird
Keep
because
the
you
runway
have two
clear.
potential spots where they can. Oh, Jeebus, Abrams behind me, huh?
Hey dog, I heard you had
I
oil.
think this, not that this is a bad thing, but this is the most work I've ever had to do on Patreon in one day.
Wait, why? What's going on?
I have to go write a bunch of personal thank you letters now.
I can think of worse things.
And I had to offer people personal lines of communication, which means my Steam is probably going to explode more than normal.
Ow.
Why, Geek Lab? I would love to understand this.
Well, hello, Mr. Terminator, who teleports out of nowhere like a Klingon.
That is his name though.
For some reason, whenever I hear teleport, I just think of Abra from Pokemon.
I just just think of Warhound Titans and Creed.
Funny enough, Geek Lab, Spitfire as the word is actually treated as a female word in German. So the complete opposite.
What?
Well, if you refer to a Spitfire as the plane, we either say the Spitfire, like
The plane was a lie.
Spitfire, or does
The plane was a lie. It wanted to be me, so they had to make clone copies of it.
The plane is the only reason Britain is still independent.
No, the Hurricane shot down way more stuff.
Yeah.
One for
Hurricane was
one.
way more durable as well.
No, guys. Two things. One, the Hurricanes died in mass, and on a statistical kill-to-death ratio, the Hurricanes had less than 1.0. Spitfires, on average, range from 2.2 per Spitfire squadron to 3.7 kills per Spitfire.
And there were a
shot down.
hell of a lot more Hurricanes than Spitfires.
Right, but this is the statistical ratio of difference in kills versus deaths. More importantly, Hurricanes generally just sucked in comparison, and by mid to late war, you guys stopped using them.
Yeah, because they like
What was
almost
the
because they
pilot
reach the end of their
survival rate?
service life pretty soon.
Do what?
The pilot survival rate of the Hurricane compared to the Spitfire when shot down.
Hurricane survival rate was almost non-existent. You couldn't bail out of the Hurricane when it was shot down. You had to crash land it. Because of the way the cockpit opened, you actually could not physically get out with a parachute on your back. You had to wait and you had to crash land the plane. The Spitfire, on the other hand, had the way the cockpit could open, you could jump out. I've watched the History Channel.
What about
excuse
the,
me.
okay,
Back when the
sorry.
History Channel was the Hitler Channel, they did a special on the Spitfire and explained why it was significantly better than the Hurricane. However, the problem with the Spitfire was it was much more difficult to produce. Because the Spitfires, because unlike the Hurricane, which
And
was
to
welded
repair.
together, the Spitfire had to be, what is it called? Riveted with over 600 rivets.
What about the Mustang?
Oh, the British went to shoot down some Mustangs when they first were being delivered to Britain because they had the old style framed flush cockpit, not the bubble cockpit, and they mistook them as